Well, for many investors, the economy's changing fortunes have meant they've had to think again about their portfolios. And a new survey has found that over the last 12 months, Generation Y, Generation X and baby boomers have taken distinctly different approaches to where they've put their money. Tim Hewson is Senior Investment Manager with RaboPlus, and he says that Generation Y is the most optimistic when it comes to potential returns, and that's not the only difference.
We've seen Generation Y become significantly more cautious and conservative, and as a result they've increased their allocation to cash to around 35%. Now, just to put that into perspective, the average portfolio probably only has an allocation to cash of around 10%, so they've made a massive strategic asset allocation shift within their portfolios. Generation X and the baby boomers still reasonably high in averaging around 20% allocations to cash, which is still high by historical standards. But of course all investors have become significantly more conservative and have made a massive adjustment away from risk.
Do you think that Generation Y has been the most active in making changes because Generation X and baby boomers have been here before? You know, they've been around for longer. They know that eventually things will come good and that the good times will return. So they're less likely to upend their portfolios in the way that Generation Y has and is.
Yeah, certainly I suppose you have the more realistic expectations, return expectations from the baby boomers. Gen X have probably been caught in the middle a little bit. They've had the boom and bust cycles of the 80s and the 90s, and they're more well aware of anything that you can make money out of the equity markets, whereas their parents, the baby boomers, have made money out of property, and that's still consistent, although we've seen a shift away from property from baby boomers.
And how did investment in super come out in all of this?
Yeah, look, I suppose this is one of the growing trends that we've noticed over the course of the last 2 years that we've done the survey, is that the allocations to super are dropping, most noticeably for the Gen Y and the Gen X. Baby boomers still making at least a 50% plus allocation into super, as you'd expect, as they grow closer towards retirement. But the concern for us, that I suppose, which comes out of the figures is very much the decreasing allocations to super in total. So if you look at the figures for the next 12 months in terms of where investors will be prepared to put their money, super is certainly not on the top of the list. It's a return to the old faithful of investment property and shares.
Tim Hewson, thank you.
Thanks, Ros. Appreciate it.